Hey y'all, Amber here from Minimally Amber, a show about minimalism, frugality, the no-buy year, and the depth year, and so much more. Welcome. This is episode 1, my inaugural episode. Now, I had my intro episode, but this is the real stuff. So I wanted to talk about what changes I'm making for this year. The changes that I'm making include 2 phrases, one called a depth year and one called a no-buy year or a no-spend year. They're kind of the same thing. Now, the depth year is something that is going around in the kind of spiritual online community that is all about going deeper in the things you already have, and as opposed to a wide year, which is trying a bunch of new things. So if you have a drawing practice or a yoga practice or you're a runner, going further and deeper into those things, as opposed to starting a new hobby, which I am so guilty of. And it's a beautiful thing. I was so excited to hear about this project. Now, a no-buy year is kind of like what it sounds like, which is you don't buy anything that's not necessary or that you deem unnecessary. So, you could say, put a ban on buying books, except for the books that you have to buy for school or for your job, or that will enrich you spiritually, unless you have a problem with buying books that'll enrich you spiritually and you have, 50 unread books on your bookshelf that you're meaning to read but you never get to. You can see there's a personal element to this show. Anyway, you get the idea. You can, if you have a problem with makeup, put a ban on makeup except for replacing items that you get rid of. And that'll force you to really go through the stuff that you already have. Or, in other words, dive deeper into the things that you already have and use them up before buying more things. So you can see that the depth year and the no-buy year are really intertwined. Now on to my depth year. First of all, I'm going to reevaluate this in 6 months because a year is a really long time and I'm really nervous that that's going to shock my immune system, so to speak. Okay, this is also broken up into sections, I should say that. My word of the year is discipline. Discipline with buying things primarily, but also my discipline with getting up on time and getting to classes, which I don't miss my classes, but getting into work, I set my own schedule for the most part. So being more disciplined with my time, with my spiritual practice, with any number of host of things. Okay, now the moment you've all been waiting for. Things not to buy. Clothes, unless I have to get a job at the end of the semester, which I hope I won't, but funding might run out, and that's just a reality that I have to deal with and be prepared for. Sorry, my cat is in the background playing with my other cat, making noises. Tarot decks. I have a really big soft spot for buying new tarot decks, even though I'm still in the process of learning the Rider-Waite. Yeah. Yeah, we'll just leave that one there. Random Amazon purchases. So I'm going to be a little bit flexible on this. I must want something for 1 to 2 months before buying it. And this really only counts for household items. So when my aluminum foil runs out, if I keep using it for baking and I want to get a baking mat, then I'll get the baking mat. Or if my AeroPress for my coffee breaks, then I'll get a new AeroPress because it's things I use every day. So really it's more of it's okay for me to replace things that are broken or are through with their usefulness. But that's it. No new books unless they're for my curriculum. And no new scarves, which I've already broken. well, I guess I tried to do this at the beginning of January and I failed. So me starting this podcast is my attempt at holding myself accountable. So I haven't actually broken anything, as of today. Sorry for all the ums. I'm working on it. So no new scarves. I wrap my hair 5 to 6 times a week, and I have like 55 scarves, and I don't need any more. Do not need any more. Okay, things not to do. Start a new hobby. Yeah, I'm really guilty of this. And I kind of am with this podcast, but also this is kind of like a therapeutic way to be supportive of myself, to hold myself accountable, to do the depth year / no buy year. So I'm cool with this. Things to let go of. Nicotine. I started vaping about a year ago to deal with my anxiety. I'll get into my mental health stuff at another later date if it becomes relevant. And yeah, I got addicted to it, and I haven't been addicted to it for that long, and so I figured now is as good a time as any to stop it. So I sold my vapes, which I had a Juul and a box mod, and I sold them and haven't vaped for a month. Things to work on. My relationship with alcohol. I'm not an addict, but there are periods of time where I'll go through and get into the habit of drinking, like instead of 1 glass every 3 to 4 days, I'll drink 2 glasses every 2 days, that sort of thing. And it's really getting in the way of my productivity. So I want to just discipline myself in my relationship with alcohol. Okay, things to delve deeper in. My curriculum at work, my spiritual practice, and then various things surrounding my spiritual practice, which I won't really go into because these aren't within the scope of this podcast, unless you guys are interested in that, and then I will. I have a side Etsy store that I sell prayer beads and malas, and I hand knot everything, and so I do that, and getting deeper into minimalism. So I'll talk about different ways that I'm decluttering it in another episode, but I'm going to go through those methods at least 2 or 3 times this year. I want to get deeper into yoga, deeper into running. Yeah, so that's what I want to get deeper into. And then the things I'm allowed to repurchase when I run out: toiletries, perfume, makeup, beads, and charms for beads. Yeah, so that's my depth year. That's my no-buy depth year, I guess you could call it. Yeah. So if this interests you guys, or you, single person who might be listening to this, let me know. And I'm going to keep doing it because I need this to keep myself accountable. But I hope someone's listening. And if you're not, then no one's hearing me talk about this. Well, if you've made it to the end of this episode, that's great. Send me an email if you have thoughts, or comment down below. Yeah, I'll see what streaming services I can put this up on. And yeah, that sounds like it's the end. Bye, guys.